The second thing is I think really understanding how AI, and I'm glad you said AI and automation together because I find that's the trick, right? To really get what we want out of it. I find that for business purposes, you need to understand really how it can benefit your business. And a friend of mine told this to me, and I've never forgotten it. He said it solves the golden triangle. So have you heard of that term before, the golden triangle?
No, please share.
So well, okay. So when you're, I mean, and even in your own business, right? And I'm sure with your clients, whenever
Mhm.
you're trying to make decisions about how to execute, you're either trying to figure out how you can do it cheaper or faster or better. And what happens if you find a cheaper way? What usually do you have to sacrifice,
Well, you have to say sacrifice quality, right? Straight away, you
right?
know that you're going to be sacrificing quality.
Mhm. Yep. Yep. And it might be faster and cheaper,
Mhm.
but you're probably sacrificing quality. So if you pay more for quality, what are you probably sacrificing?
You're probably paying, sorry, then probably it's going to cost you more, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
And it'll probably be slower. Right. But
Yep.
the cool thing with AI, and I've noticed this too, almost every AI and automation, sequence or workflow that we put together, it pretty much solves it. It makes it better, faster, and cheaper. And even if we make it cheaper and faster and maintain the standard, we're actually happy with that, right?
Hmm.
Because then we're still leveling up because then we can do things more urgently, we can do it at volume, and then we as humans can actually focus on higher level activities and strategies. So when you understand that, I always tell people measure what you want to test against that. Is it going to help make whatever it is that you want to do better, faster, cheaper? So yes, play, have it create, I don't know, like a vegan hamburger recipe for you or something like that, right? Or write a like there's an AI called Suno, which is so much fun to use. Have you tried it? You can
Suno.
make songs with it. Suno, SUNO.ai. And
Okay,
like
I'll
my
check it
son
out.
used it to, oh my gosh, you could probably do it like here live if we want to, but you can make songs with it. Okay. So this is an
Wow.
example of just how it helps you to use it. But like my son made a song in the style of like samba about a boy who loves macaroni and cheese. Like, and it was just so much fun
Wow.
to see what
Yep.
comes out of it.
And super
But at the same
creative.
time, you're learning prompts.
Hmm.
You're learning how, like, oh, it didn't actually come out the way I wanted it to,
Yep.
right? So that's part of the play part. But then a business will be like, well, why would I need this? Well, okay, now you don't have to hire somebody to create a jingle, right? Or if you have a podcast like this, you could actually use it to create a podcast intro and
Mhm.
test different ones of those, right? Or even test it on ads. I do a lot of Facebook advertising and I love to test. And testing music is actually not something I do a lot of because usually, as you know, with ads, it has to be the royalty free music. You can't use the good tracks,
That's
So,
exactly right.
right. But you could use this to write your own, and it's pretty good. They give you the singers, the whole orchestra, like everything in any style you can think of.
Amazing. So
So
talk to me.
just, yeah.
There's some gold nuggets in there. It's fantastic. Talk to me about when you're playing with these tools and you're executing these small tests. What's your testing approach to that? To go, okay, this is my existing business. Here's my AI model. How do I compare the two? And how do I make sure that it doesn't just, oh, I think that worked, but actually here is the proven testing strategy to make sure
Yeah.
it had an impact and I saw an improvement or not?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think first of all is know what your workflow is. Like know
Mhm.
exactly what it is that you're trying to have AI and automation do for you. Instead of just diving right in because you need to know what you have to measure, right? So know what it is that you want it to produce and know how you're going to measure, okay, this is the standard that I want. So let's take ads, for example. I use AI a lot to write different variations of ads. And how do I measure it? Well, I actually just test it.
Mhm.
I just learned a long time ago just to remove all emotion. I just test it, right?
And so you go,
But
what, four or five headlines and go, right, I'm just going to test those
mhm,
AI variations.
exactly, and then see how it works. So that's how I know that one's actually going to work.
Mhm.
And if it beats some of the stuff that we do against humans, that's even better, right? Then I'll
Yep.
know, wow, like this actually works pretty well. Now, with the copywriting, I also know that like AI has been doing copywriting now for a while. Like in the AI world, a while is over a year for sure. So I know that if it's not exactly what I want, then I can tinker with it to try and get it to work. On the other hand, I'm trying to work on a solution to actually have an AI go into a WordPress site and actually change the code on it in certain intervals during the year. That's
Yes.
much more complex.
Hmm.
That's possible. Um, but I'm thinking, well, I want this to be at least faster and cheaper, but I have to maintain the standard because we can't have any errors in the code. So I can build that out, right? But if it takes like 20 hours to do this when it would take a human 2 hours to do it, then I know that, okay, that's not working. I might try one other iteration to see if I can get it there, or I just might say, you know what, this is just the discrepancy is too large. So it will be there at some point, but I'm just, to me, it's not worth the effort to keep trying to tinker with it, right? And also because that particular task isn't a primary task in the business. It's just a nice to
It's a
have,
nice to have. Yeah.
something that would free up one of our, web development people from doing stuff and would make it more, we wouldn't have to double check things as much because it's just running, right? It's just
Totally. And
changing all
that's
the
where
dates or
that's where
something.
I think you get into this whole process automation piece, leveraging AI, when we really think, possibly in a year from now, maybe two, our businesses are going, we're going to be able to automate a lot of process in our businesses using AI.
Mhm.
Those basic
Mhm.
tasks that you're talking to, something needs to be updated on WordPress, something needs to go up on the social account, something needs to happen in the back end for a blog. Being able to leverage these AI tools to actually make that happen, where humans were
Yes.
doing sort of more what I would call a mundane task, to now be able
Mhm.
to focus on that highest and best
Yes.
use, right?
Yes, yes. And then on top of that, I think it's also to start moving towards autonomous agents, which
Mhm.
are ones that are making decisions independently. So I kind of envision something where it's getting real-time data from your socials, like you mentioned, and then it's not just posting, it's actually going back and recreating, maybe taking a look at your winners. This is what I would do. I would want it to look at the winners over the past, say, 90 days, take those, make variations of them in different ways is as images, as videos, as like threads and posts, and then put it back through the publishing channel,
Mhm.
and then do just and then it's just constantly analyzing because that's really what we as humans are doing.
Well,
But
that's
I
that's
the
the
next
feedback
step,
loop, right? That's the feedback loop to be
yes,
able to go, right, okay,
yes.
now I've put it in. What do I know? What have we tested? What's the outcome? Go again. And I think, as we could probably agree as marketers and media advertising experts, that the amount of tests that you want to do versus the amount of tests that you end up doing, there's a large discrepancy there.
Oh,
However,
huge, huge.
so with the advancements in AI, we are going to be able to test a lot more, a lot faster. And I think that's where we're going to get the huge breakthroughs in our results.
Yes,
And then actually
yes.
driving that really strong, from a media advertising point of view, really strong return on investment.